Hey everybody, this is Ruby Maddox with the final week of the Direct Your Purpose Challenge. And so this week we are focused on execution. So we started off with purpose and then we moved on to creating our vision. Last week we focused on developing our plan for success. And this week we're focusing on executing our strategy. So what happens at this stage? What are we doing? So three things in terms of developing our execution strategy. We're working on staying focused. We're working on building accountability, and we're working on time management and scheduling. And so this should be a no-brainer, but I will break these areas down to you and thinking about how you build the strategy. So the first area is focus. How do we stay focused to our goals? The first thing we have to look at is how do we get unfocused from our goals? Well, there's a couple of things. We can lose our focus on our goals when we become discouraged. When we become discouraged about where we are in our process and maybe thinking that we should be further along than where we actually are, and it can make us want to quit or just simply lose focus. We get discouraged perhaps by past failures. Maybe we tried this before and didn't work out how we thought it would. And thinking about that, being reminded about that as we try to move forward on new goals or persist in the same goal, can have us feeling a little bit unfocused on moving forward in that goal. We also get discouraged when we also lose our focus when we allow ourselves to be distracted. We can allow ourselves to be distracted by our own lesser priorities, things that compete for our attention, and it's attractive to kind of go after those things because maybe they're easier. We've mastered those things, and so we tend to lose our focus and go after those things versus maybe sitting with the harder things and moving forward. And then also we get distracted by other people's stuff. Some of us can get distracted by other people's success. And that can come from, real success. Maybe we're looking at other people and thinking, how am I ever going to get to that level? How am I ever going to do what they've gone on to do? Or we can get distracted by other people's perceived success. So that is looking at maybe other people's social media platforms and, not really knowing what's going on behind the scenes there. And they could be literally struggling just like we are and trying to figure all of those things out. So we lose our focus on what we're supposed to do, and we're looking at other people's areas of success or perceived success and all of these other areas versus kind of sticking with our path and moving forward. And the way that we overcome that barrier is scheduling blocks of time within our schedule that we're going to work, non-negotiable. These are blocks of time that we're going to work and kind of sideswipe our non-focusing sort of mentality. So we schedule those blocks ahead of time, we make them non-negotiable, and we push through that time. So when you're getting unfocused, what's really happening is it's like your own resistance is coming up. You have your own doubts, your fears, all of that stuff is coming up when you're trying to just sit down and do a task towards your goals. Our goals can be scary, and they should be. Any goal that's worth having is going to be a little bit scary, and so you will want to run. And so scheduling these blocks of time and committing to those times, you're going to commit to pushing through those blocks, and it will be hard, and you may want to cry, but commit to at least staying focused and moving forward through those blocks of times, and you'll see yourself start to do that more frequently, and it'll get easier. A great tool that I like to use for stuff like that is called FocusMate. FocusMate literally allows you to schedule blocks of time in your calendar to commit to working on your project. So that's FocusMate, M-A-T-E, one word.com. It is a free app, but they have a thing where you can choose to, donate to the cause of the whole venture. But it's changed my life, and so I highly recommend it in terms of getting and staying focused on certain tasks. The next phase is of executing your strategy or thing that you want to use with that is accountability. So how are you going to stay accountable to your goals? And there's three ways that you go about getting accountability. There's one-on-one accountability, in which it's just you and one other person meeting maybe every week. or bi-weekly, and you'll check in about your goals, set new goals, check in about how that went, what's not working, what do you want to change in order to move forward. It's a great way for you to track your progress and work with someone else as they also move forward on their goals. I myself, I use Cojourn, with Cojourn. It's a online tool that helps you and your accountability partner use a framework for your accountability partner system, so that you don't have to come up with that yourself and you aren't stuck trying to figure out how do we frame this thing, what are the rules and all that. All of that is there for you at that site. The third part of accountability is called personal accountability. And in this sense, what I like to call burning the ships. So with this kind of accountability, you are locking yourself into a decision. So a lot of times, again, we can go up to our goals and we leave wiggle room for, if it gets too hard, if it gets too scary, I'll just kind of back away. I'll kind of backpedal out of this decision. Well, with personal accountability, in this particular sense, you are locking yourself into that decision so that it's not easy to sort of undo that. So you are booking that ticket, you are booking that class, you are making that appointment, and committing yourself to that particular goal. And that is your personal accountability in doing that. So again, that was one-on-one accountability partner, doing your personal accountability and burning the ships. And then the third way is finding a support system, a support group, or a mastermind. So this is using the power of community within your accountability and finding a group of like-minded folks who are also committed to their goals. And you're using that group as your support system as you work through your own challenges, and supporting other people in their goals, and moving that forward. You're all committed to moving your goals forward. One-on-one accountability systems or mastermind, and personal accountability and locking yourself into decisions. And then, of course, the final part of executing your strategy is this: time management and scheduling. So all of the planning, all of the steps, all the action stuff that we talked about, you're now going to move this outside of your head and move it onto some kind of linear platform. So if you use Google Calendar or a planner or something, you are taking all of these steps and having them live somewhere. And you are mapping that out in terms of what you need to do this week, this month, this year, in order to be done by your completion date. And you actually want to start with your desired completion date and kind of plan backwards. So if I want to be done with my book by this date, then what do I need to be doing the month before? How many chapters do I need to be writing per week or per month or things like that? You want to have that schedule so it's no longer just kind of like rattling around in here and stuck in kind of maybe the research phase. These action steps should live on some kind of linear format. And so that's it. You want to use time management and scheduling so that your action steps for your idea, your project, your big goal actually lives somewhere. You want to get some kind of accountability. I mentioned the 3 types of accountability, and you want to stay focused and thinking about ways that you can stay focused and sidestep your fears, your doubts, and all of your stuff as you try to pursue your goals. So I hope that was helpful. Feel free to rewind if you need to. But thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for hopefully sticking with me these past 4 weeks. I hope this stuff is helpful. Please go to directyourpurpose.com. You can sign up for my newsletter if you haven't already. You can also check out my upcoming mastermind if you'd like to get support around your big goals in the new year. And I hope you have a great week. Thank you so much.